Right now we are in the hole. We are deep in the woods and we're taking a look at some of the effigies that are here in this creek. I may do a little singing. Oh, some deer prints. Got some deer down her. Well, let's take a look at a few of these effigies. We're gonna kind of cruise around this creek bed and see what we can see. So here's a really neat little hole with lots of them. And I wonder what my capabilities are. Oh, I can zoom in, okay. And I can zoom out, perfect. Let's do that. So, we can pick up any one of these. I don't want to go down the rabbit hole just yet. So let's go ahead and maybe take a look for some pottery. I believe I definitely see a clay ball. You can see how on this clay ball here, there's a fired top. So this top is fired. Little piece right there. So this clay ball, you can see all the little fire stones next to it. And other, see this material here? Oh, let me get the focus right for us there. There we go. And look inside of here. So it's like a fired clay material. I wish there we go. A little better on the focus there. I'm gonna crush this up a little bit so you can see what it's made of. Isn't that neat? Inside of here is where I found one of the most defined little bird ravenhead effigies. So these are caches, ceremonial spots where the local indigenous buried things. They painted crystals. Here we have a painted crystal gateway style piece is what we call it. Get out of here, RLJ. Remember what you said? The sight of two shamans. Don't come into the camp of two shamans. Well, I don't really want you here if you're going to talk to me like that. So go on and get out of here. Cross me once, that's all it takes. So we're deep in the woods here, and let's go over to a more open area. Woo, we're getting deep. So it's kind of like two creeks that come together, and we're on the left creek right now. And all the rocks seem to be covered up in clay at the moment. You can see how windy this is. And you can see some of the hills and things that are around it. There are a lot of stone mounds here and other things deep in here, but I guess let's just go ahead and get just right inside here and take a look at just some of the mud-covered stones that we could find here. All right, little painted quartz piece. Hey, bud files. So these kind of stones that have these little slots in them. Oh, look at that. So a lot of times, see the X on there? So a lot of times there was another stone that kind of fit in that slot, right? You see folks stacking effigies and things. Wow, that's a big one. And there were sets, you know. What the heck is this thing? Whoa. Oh, that's cooler than I thought it was going to be. I'm not sure what it is, but it's probably the base to an effigy set. Because you see the cup in there, and there's cups sometimes, I think, can hold another stone and on top of them, you know? These things are all muddy and kind of hard to see. But there's some better spots in the creek. And we'll move over to those. Oh, look at the little footprints. The little raccoons. Cool. Oh, there's a red piece of quartz. Let's go check it out. Oh, what's over here? Look at that. It's red on one side and black on the other. Whoa. No kidding. Oh, wow. That's pretty. Look at that red color. Oh my gosh. With the black band in it? Wow, that's really pretty. Oh my goodness. You don't normally expect to see stones like that. Oh, that's something. Oh, wow. That's a neat one. So let's just take a look at what's down here. It looks like there's a cache of them here. Oh, they're all baked in. See how hard this is? It's fired. It's like a... See how the crystals and everything, they were like cooked inside of the dirt balls. The dirt balls. Oh, wow. See, I really don't like pulling them too far out of the ground. I'm not going to dig for these, but this is all like cement. This whole thing, whereas the rest of this, I mean, of course, that's the soil, but, you know, from the river, but you can see how you can just dig into the rest of this ground. It's just regular old soil, just like you find anywhere, right? But just in this one spot, it's like cement. I believe it's been fired. I'm really down with this red one. Let's go find some more of these red ones here. Get the thorns out of my back. Whew. You want to look at any of the wood too, because a lot of times if you're finding charred wood, it's probably from the same people who put the effigies here. I don't know. Nah. Just a branch, I think. But one thing that I've learned about these sites is you can never, you know, just get your expectations out of the way. You know, we never expected to see a lot of things that we found out here. So here's these gateway style pieces. Little portraits and profiles on them. And what we're doing out here today is we're kind of looking for more photorealistic portraits. Many times we find them together. Oh, wow. Oh my. Let's go ahead and rinse this off just a little bit. Oh my. Wow. No. The squirrel? Is that the squirrel girl? Maybe. A really neat one, gnarly. But where are the tool marks? Oh no. Oh no, the tool marks aren't every single one. Oh geez. All right, it gets pretty dark and dismal down there. So let's go ahead and hop up and change location to a little bit of a wider area. So we're about 65, 70 feet down below the horizon right now, here in Graham, North Carolina. And we're cutting through some deer trails. It's getting pretty gnar right here. Let's go to a little bit of a wider area. All right. So you can see some of the houses up there so that you can see kind of how deep we actually are. Is this wood or stone? I guess it's wood. Neat. Painted crystal. I think I see Mr. Mamotho, the mammoth. You guys see anything? Lots of little raccoon prints, even little baby ones. Little cuties. Look how deep that's gotten in there. So this creek was only like 3 foot deep for the longest time, and the local landowners say that there were never any stones in it. But once they started this construction project where they built all the houses that you can see on the horizon there, of course they paved all that up top, and all the water came running down, which washed out a lot of the trees, washed out the banks, and washed out several of the artifacts. And that's why we were able to find them so quickly. But now, as you guys can see, as they sit down here, these painted crystal pieces, they'll eventually get worn out. I mean, they're not, just because of the water running over them and things, they will fade away. Whereas at some point in time, they may have had painted pictures on them. All that would be left would be the carvings. And that's why the painted pictures packed right in the clay, they're so important for us, because that kind of lets us know. That's why we call them the gateways, because it's the entry into understanding that there's a whole lot more to the stone than what initially meets the eye. I think we're seeing Squirrel Girl again. I'm not so sure though. Really neat piece of painted quartz there. Here, right here, is a clay ball with a lot of the little gemstones and things inside of it. So this, it's kind of like, you know, it's keeping its form in the river. That's just because it's a fired clay object. And I mean, I could just crush this with my hands, as you might be able to see here. These fired clay balls, all this rich red clay inside of it, is where I started finding many of the effigies initially. Of course, you pull out these worked rocks from these, you might not know what they are at first. But you know that there's something, because they were put in these balls and protected. Just to give you an idea of the burnt insides. Really neat stuff. All right. Whew, there's so much here right now. Huge, huge ones. Oh my goodness. Look at this big old hole in here. There's probably something down there. You guys see anything? See the same style right next to it. The same color paint. So archaeological professionals call these cores. Sometimes they say that they're, just material for later. You guys know Squirrel Girl. Look at that. That's not Squirrel Girl. There's no way. It's got too much of a square face. That's weird. But you can see how they leave the pupil in that V. That one's kind of creeping me out. I don't like it. I just don't like it. Wow. Yeah, this one's kind of wild. So I like the edges. When you look down these, you can see how the curve and the napped edge. They're probably fashioned after the old tools, after the ancient tools. But you can really hold these very well. What's all this? Oh, interesting. Let's see what else we got here. Just a big diamond. Wow. Yikes. Weird. Looks like a big prismatic shard, maybe. Debarker, I guess. Oh, there's the one from the same collection. Very neat. Yeah, I'm seeing Squirrel Girl a lot. Oh. So I hope you guys' day is going good. I'm having a pretty good day. I drove an hour to get out here. So here's another one of the clay balls. So this isn't a stone, you can see, but it's sitting on top of the rest of the stuff, just like the stones, and that's because it's a fired clay. It's actually red clay inside here, you see it? It's a fired clay ball. It was fashioned into an effigy. Very rich red clay. Get a nice gateway example here. More than likely the mammoth on the left-hand side. I don't know, though. What do we think? It still has this clay pattern. It's kind of tough to see. But you guys see what? Just little characters on here. I don't know how to explain it. Mm-hmm. Neat, neat, neat. It's clay. It's all clay. There's another one. Clay balls. Oh, this one looks like it has a gemstone still in it. These ones don't seem to have lithics inside of them. They're just empty clay balls, which is kind of interesting. I imagine they fired them and then created the effigies. So, say you spent all your time getting here and you didn't bring any rocks with you. You didn't bring your crystals down from Boone. Well, you would still do your pilgrimage, you would still create your effigy and bury it. And that's what this place is. It's some type of effigy pilgrimage site, because people were coming here and burying their effigies for a very long period of time. Different times and different people were doing it. All right, let's go ahead and go up a little bit, climb out of this thing, and we're gonna go to some more open areas. All right. So let's take a breeze through this section here and just kind of, you guys can take a look at some of the worked stones here. There's a nice one here. Little bird. Just a bird. That's all it is. Just a bird. And then it's the top hat bird. So like things like this that are in the soil, things that are in the ground, I don't mess with. But there's a look at the side so you guys can see where there's nothing in between this whole section. And this whole section is 45 feet in the ground already. There's nothing here. It's where it starts, where this brown is. That's where the lithics are. That's where your stones and things are falling out of. They're not in the top layer. You got to go real deep. And I'm curious on like why no one else is finding these, and then I realize, well, they might not have an area where they can go this deep. All right, let's traverse just a little bit past all this. See these big rocks that are just sitting down here though? Those are all effigies as well. There's megalithic effigies buried in here. They took them all out when they did the construction site. And you can see in the earlier videos where I show you them. I mean, I went and looked at them. I had no idea what they were until I started to figure it out. Look at the oil in the water. That sucks. Yeah, I don't think there's supposed to be oil in our water, but I guess the taxpayer money is going to go ahead and take care of all the styrofoam in the waterways and all the oil. That'll be just fine, right? I'm sure the city of Graham is going to take quick care of this, right? Just like they took care of that Confederate statue sitting in the middle of the city. Here's a nice little totem. Imagine it's just a bird head totem. It looks pretty crude to me, but I just might not be understanding it correctly yet. Hi, guys. Whew, it's pretty muggy. Pretty muggy down here. That sucks. Well, it just sucks. Stick it up here. I don't know if sticking it up there is better or not. All right. Oh my goodness, they're all over. Yeah, I know, we're stretching it now, right? But yeah, not every single one is super defined. They were used to the art, we're not. You know, they would look at this and be like, wow, wow, wow. But we're still learning how to do it. Look at that conglomerate kind of thing going on here. What the hell? Okay. That's neat. What the heck is this? It's curved. It looks like it was put on a tree because it's curved like it was on a tree trunk. You can see all the little other stones in it. Looks like a piece of cement, right, with stones in it. I think they call these conglomerates. Oh, look at that piece of ice sitting in there, right there. Really neat. Don't think it's in, like, as far as a character, but definitely seems like it was placed on a pipe or on a tree of some sort. Kind of interesting. Painted piece. So this big round section right here, look at this as the eyebrow. I don't know. I see the eye, but you know, it's Sand's face. It's a representation. There's another great. So you saw the one crazy, you see how this one's swooping up and everything? So the art styles are going to be the same. You know, you see this giant eye on this side with the swooping thing, flashes and stuff. And that same piece is going to have those same large exaggerated eyes because it was the same artist, of course, worked on this piece as well. Many times when we find one image on a stone, we can find the other ones as well. I would like to see the bird on this one. I guess this is him. Facing to the right, of course. But let's see. I think that looks better to the left. Yeah. I mean, it's supposed to be a bird probably on both sides, but you see how the wing feathers, so the lines come down? Rippled all the way down, the very details. All the way down to the detail. Really neat. Well, that's kind of a neat one. All this stuff under here, you can see all the stonework that we're standing on. Let's keep on walking down and see if we can find a, this is a pretty nice open area. See a big face stone here. It's facing this way. Oh my gosh, it's a big one. Weird one, for sure. They're all weird. Who am I kidding? Just stones all over, but look at that. A little hole there, see that? So your eye is here. That's kind of a neat one. And here we are. Another one. Birdstone. Great cutter. Smash and then cut. Pound and cut. imagine. So these may have been, they may have been kept by the people, by the children of the people who used them, and then kept in remembrance. This is how we got out of the wild. This is what my family used to, I was fed off of this stone. You wouldn't just throw that away. You would hold on to that. Wonder if I could pick that up. This whole thing is stone. The whole thing is. I'm not going to be able to pick anything up. This whole thing is connected. Is it? Oh, yeah, it is. But look at the cuts in it. This whole palette right here is just rock. Hey. Thanks, guys, for joining me. I appreciate it. Looks a lot like another one that I have. Look at all these little... Look at that. I think it's really neat. Don't ask me what it is. I have no idea. I don't think RLJ's here anymore, Effie. So, this is my site. This is where I try to get out to on the weekends. We all live in this world. This world sometimes is kind of shitty, but when you come out to the place like this, you kind of forget about all that. And I really like being here in this area. So that's why I came down today. I like all the ferns and things, and especially in the springtime, it's very pretty, but in the fall, it's all right too. I like it. You guys can see how deep we are just in the canyon here. I mean, we got to go 45, 50 feet up to get to the horizon. So this may have been an old river. Now this is just what's remaining. And that just down there is 9 feet deep. Hole over there. But let's go ahead and keep going, and I can show you some of the mounds down here. I know there's so much right here though, but let's go ahead and just, wow. All right, I want to see this. Look at that. That's a neat one. Jeez, that's a honker. It's got like this grip where you can just put your fingers inside of it. You can almost hold it. Look at that. It's like a hook, so you could just put it on your hand. You see how I'm holding it? I mean, it's just natural. It fits right in your hand. It's meant to be, right? You fit your finger right inside of it, and now you have a stone glove. Mess with me now. I got my stone glove, right? I mean, I don't know. I'm just guessing here, but when it fits the hand, like when it, curves around every one of your fingers, you can tell. Now this is getting a little too much for me. Like when I start pulling them off of this stuff, I start feeling a little guilty. I like to try to leave things in the ground if I can. And the things in the water are really what I go after. Because there's a lot here that still is yet to be discovered. And I'm not trying to mess it up for other people. All right. So if you guys see something, let me know. Stop me. If you do, this whole, what's weird, like this right now, we're on all rock. This whole creek right here is just rock bed. So we'll walk around this rock bed here. I think it's fantastic. What, somebody was eating something here. Looks like a crayfish or a crab. Looks like pieces of a crab. Yeah. Bet you a bird was eating a crab. Or maybe one of the raccoons or something found one. There's a nice gateway. Weird. I don't know what to think about that. It's just a slab of crystal. But I think that this rock shelf is really, really excellent. And for reference, the mound was like right there, down on that side. There's a rock stuck in the rock. Is it supposed to be there, you think? Oh, there's another rock wedging it. Okay. Is it locked in? Can I pull it out? I can. Does it fit in there perfect, or is it just happenstance? Yeah, it's probably just happenstance. I don't know though, because here's another one. Look at that. Interesting. So here's a little outcropping. It's not just in the creeks, they're all in the soil as well. But of course we can't see those ones because they're dug in the dirt. Hey, Pedrosa. It's a little recessed face, left side profile here. Perhaps a little Birdman motif. This clay is kind of tough to get off sometimes because it's packed in it. But there's a little Birdman, I think. You see how the eye kind of comes out? See how it's round right there? See, he's got a little something up here. Probably a bird on the head. And we really get him in an angle. There he is. Right? Does that look like a person to you? It does if he's looking almost completely away from us. All the way away. That's what's weird about this art. Sometimes you got to tilt it to where you wouldn't expect to see an image. We don't do that here in today's society. We don't have art that you tilt to where you almost cannot see it anymore, and then that's when you begin to see it. It's very weird, right? Very different. I think that's why so many of us like it. Here's a neat little bird. There's a bunch of them right here. This is a pretty one, though. That's cool. This is an interesting piece. There's another one on the right-hand side there. A little drop off here. Some very large crystals. piece of quartz. All right, let's go ahead and go across. And we'll traverse a little further. So there are acres and acres of them, but in order to get deep enough for them, you kind of have to follow the creek line. But what's weird about this site is it's not just a paleo site. There are more recent people came here, and we're still burying things here. So it was a ceremonial site for a long time. Obviously, if the mounds were here, then the Native Americans knew that it was here. Like the mounds, which we're going to walk up on here any minute. You know, they knew probably that this was some type of spiritual area or something. They felt it anyway. So, unlike us today, they respected those sites and kept them. They didn't destroy them. I don't know. I think a lot of people nowadays wouldn't want to be living on some kind of ancient sacred site. Those are deer, right? So this is neat. It looks like the creek kind of just mellows out and almost mixes in here. It doesn't have a direct path. So here's some more outcroppings of stones that the roots have pushed up, looks like. Look at these holes. Yep, I've been down here before. I know this area. That's just sitting here. I don't get it. Now this is an ancient tire. So it's getting kind of swampy down here, but I think I can get out of this. Let's try. Let's try to come over here and over here. Up here. Yeah. So we're coming up on the crystal mounds now. I don't know who put all this tape up here, but maybe it's property markers. I'm not sure. So here's some of the crystal. Anybody home? See all the little white spots? It's all white crystal. Kind of unique to be finding here. But as you guys know, these are all put here. Wow. The smell that just came out of this is probably one of the most beautiful things I've ever smelled. Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's very beautiful. So all the gateway pieces, the painted pieces of quartz that we've been looking at, they're all the same color. I couldn't tell you exactly how the how the orientation goes on this, but I can tell you that every little crack and mark on this is something. More than likely right in the middle, it's showing the bird head, as you guys can see right here. But it's a very complicated piece. Sometimes it's just easier to look at the smaller ones. You can see how the top is ruffled, right? So look at the top as like a mohawk. Look at just this crystal embossed section, not the bottom section. The top section as the face. And keep in mind, you know, they didn't have paper or pencils. So this is how they would view, you know, how they would look at things. How they would remember people and culture. These were the first photo albums. So the big nose fella with a big cheek. And so I'm seeing his eye very close to the edge, like right above the white nose. You guys see it? Yeah, get out of here, RLJ. I told you to leave a long time ago. Told you, didn't really want you here. All right. So there's a bunch more crystal here. Oh, so the clay pack eye is still in there. Very neat. So you can see all the little white specks here. All the crystal. So, in fear of boring any more of you, let me run over here to the mounds really quick and show you guys those before we go. So sharing portable rock art has been really fun, but I have not enjoyed the drama or the BS that I've had to deal with from just other YouTubers and other people. Some of them that share portable rock art and just, you know, other people as well. Most people have been really cool, but it's the people that you make friends with, the people that you think are your friends, and then they turn out and become assholes. Normally right after you hit 1,000 subscribers, which is ridiculous. Some kind of jealousy stuff, but it's been one of the worst things about this whole endeavor has been having to make friends and then have them kind of turn on you. It's been really crappy. So here's one of the mounds right here. I wish I could zoom out just a little bit to show you, but this is one of the mounds here, and there's probably 15 or 20 right here. There's a bunch of them, and all these mounds are made of crystal and lots of burnt wood. So let's go ahead and kind of take a look on the top of this mound, and when I get up to the top of it, you kind of be able to see how much you can see when you're up here. So I think that, Grendel, thanks, I appreciate it. I don't need any, thanks. Yeah, like I said, it seems like as soon as people become my friend, they end up becoming your enemy. So I'd rather not, you know? It sucks. It's really shitty, but that's just the way it is. Apparently, it's the way it is for you people. I don't know. I don't feel like I don't really feel like I belong in this society if I can't get along like that. Maybe everyone has to deal with it. I don't know. I think it's time for me to just take my van and go back out into the woods, though. Anyway, the local indigenous are telling me that this is more than likely an old village. And that's what we see in a lot of these old villages, is these tiny little mounds. And on top of these mounds, they would probably put their houses. So they wanted to be up, you know, above, a little bit above the ground level. And so that's what they did. And so in this area, it's just tons of small little itty bitty mounds. This is a really neat little, I guess it's a bird this way. I don't know. I'm not going to interpret it right now, I guess, but really neat crystals. And, you know, there's your flint napped edge. And every single one of these has an edge on it. They were tools first. All right. So from this mound, there's another one right there. I know there's one down there, but there's one there. So let's go down there. And there's one to our left as well. Let's move a little bit further to the left. As you can see, it's kind of hard to make your way around here. Once you're in it, it's just a big bowl of spaghetti. I see the one over here. Let's see. All right. So here is another one. Smaller one, looks like. Or it's just kind of all melted down. And it's hard to see when you're sitting right on top of it, but there's like a lump here. Let's go up and investigate it together. So this is, of course, just where a tree fell over from a long time ago. You can see all the lithics that are in it. But let's head back down this way and see if we can find the more defined ones. Kind of heading back downhill here to get deeper. That tree would be a great tree to climb. Oh, it's two of them. I guess it's one big tree that is two. That's a heck of a tree. It's a twin tree. Very nice one. So it's important that we keep these old trees here, because these old trees teach these younger trees what to do. If you just plant a forest of old trees, they don't exactly know what they're doing. You got to have some of the old growth there, kind of teach them. So here we're coming along another large creek. This creek has widened up quite a bit. And if you asked me where I was right now, I wouldn't be able to tell you. I have no idea, because I have never seen this shit before. Holy smokes. I just found a new spot. Wow. Whoa. Look at this. Holy crap, that scared me. There was some kind of animal just jumped away. Look at this. Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness. How am I going to get down here? This is neat. I got to get down inside of this. I'm going to get wet. Oh, all right. Let's do it. We're going in, boys. Oh, my. Oh, my. Oh, my goodness. Look at these roots. Look at that. Oh my. They are all in the roots, my friends. Look at this. Wow. So when the tree grows, it's picking up the caches and just pulling them up with it. I think it's probably good for the trees too to have those. You see the face stone that I'm stepping on? Let's flip this one over. All right. I thought I knew about all the little creeks and stuff in here. This is a whole new section. I gotta make this jump. All right, hold on there. Oh, I did it. I fell. I got it. We're okay. Wow, this is pretty. I stopped by Cabela's today to pick up some water boots so I could just tromp right through. But Cabela's had a huge line because of the holidays, I guess. Well, that's really pretty, though. A big prismatic shard here. Oh, wow. Whew. Look at that big old bird. See the wedge? Yeah. You see the bird totem? Just stuck that in the ground from like 4 feet up. See the lines in it and stuff? It just naturally falls into the ground. It's meant to do it. These big stones right here. Whew, yeah. I'm feeling their energies for sure. I'm in awe right now. I'm glad that you guys are hanging out with me while I'm exploring this area because it looks like Fern Gully right here. Look at that big tree with the roots that are coming up. It's about to fall over. This is really beautiful out here. Man, I wonder if I could buy this part of the land. I bet you I could. Oh, look at that. So, you see the whole stone, but we're looking at the embossed, just the embossed image right here. The left side profile. I'm not positive, but this is really neat. Looks like brick right there. Whoa. Uh-oh. I'm all right. This is super neat. Oh, yeah. Compass. Wow. I think when the guys from HBO came down, there's some more oil. That sucks. When the guys from HBO came down and did there looks like there's a trail right there, did the documentary with me. This was kind of the area that we were at. We kind of got into this section for a little bit. Guess it's a big club. I imagine this is the handle. Is that what we're doing? Is that how we're gonna roll? Is this what we're doing today? Oh my gosh. That's neat. Definitely has a handle. That's definitely a beater. Wow. What is... Yeah, air shaft straightener. Yeah. Really neat. That's a cool one. Oh. I mean, every single one of these is cool, right? I mean, I think the fact that these were just used and held, each one of these is really neat. And it's kind of creepy, you know. You see the profile, and then every single time when you look for that eye, it's there, you know. It's there every single. Really beautiful. Gosh, guys, 62 minutes already. That's all right. I don't mind if you don't. I'm kind of exploring together here. Here's another one of those long, weird ones. Oh, look at that. That's pretty. Bird head. Yeah, I know, right? My whole garage and everything is filled. I got too much stuff. I love these long bird totems. They're really neat. Mm-hmm. Very beautiful. So you see the lines here, like here and here. Yeah, that's why I think if I could buy this stuff, I totally would. I'd buy this whole little section of river just to preserve it. Then I wouldn't really have to take it home. It would, I'm not going to take it home anyway, but I wouldn't have to worry about it because it would be here. Set up a camp where people can come out and learn how to see the stuff. I think that would be neat. Have a little museum. I could retire doing that. Oh, there's a nice story stone. This one's very light for crystal. I guess because it's got all the holes in it. But it's very good one. I like the base right here with the longer nose. You see how it's got that weird long nose? And you flip it like a couple degrees this way and we get a different image. Kind of move slower, guys, so you guys can see them. Mm-hmm. And all the characters coming out. Takes you maybe just a few seconds for each one, but once you can flip over and see them all, this little character repeats. And then let's try upside down. There's a lot on this one. It's a very cute one. Very deep holes in it. I like it. I like the right side profiles too. Oh, it's almost see-through. Translucent in the back. Jeez. If I take any of them home, I guess this probably should be the one today. This might be the one that I take. It's a really nice one. Let's go ahead and walk down a little bit more here. Take a look. And there's a nice little ridge there. And there's a manhole, so there's been some, it's probably one of those drains down here. So kind of getting over to some uncharted territory where I haven't been before. There's a nice little heart-shaped bird down there. So I'm gonna go ahead and I guess walk it back. And I think I'll just wish you guys a good rest of the day. I'll get back on later on and see what you guys are up to. But until then, we'll chat with you again later. Thanks for joining me.